Yo, what's up? It's been a while, been a few weeks, but we back. Let me just post the link in the chat. How are you all doing today, guys? Yo, Carl. Carl's back. What a name. What a name. Shout out to the Carls of the world. Shout out to all my pairs. Just wait for a few more people to join. How's the music? Was it too loud? Or was it alright? I'm just finishing my avocado. It's fucking banging. Today I brought MFF 10k account and lost 3%. When I traded demo I was profitable. Okay. I mean, depends how long you was profitable for. You could do a demo account for a week and be profitable. If you're profitable for 3 months, then just trust your system. 3% is just part of your equity curve. Okay, right, let's get into it. Is there anything you guys want to jump into? Before I get started, any topics? I've been probably refining my strategy, so I'll go over that a bit later. But we're not doing like a majorly long live stream. It's just going to be like half hour, 45 minutes, but I'll try to get as much information in as I can. Alright, let's get started. If no one has any questions, we are sweet. Cool, right. So basically the past however many weeks I've just been really refining my strategy, and it now comes down to literally a sequence of events that need to happen before you even look at getting into a trade. There's no guessing work. There's no or maybe if this happens then I can do this. No, it's if this happens then this happens, then this happens, then you do this. Can I briefly explain what no gap candle indicator is? It's literally like you go on the 5-second chart and you see there's gaps everywhere, and then it fills in the gaps. It just makes it look cleaner. I don't really use it anymore. But yeah, so I've been really refining my stuff. I've had some help from one of the quite well-known traders. He's helped me clarify a lot of things in my trading. So we'll go over that. We'll go over that today. And before I get into anything, I just want to reiterate the fact that trading more isn't always more. I find personally with me, trading less is a lot more. You know, I have my risk management set out. I have my my high probability setups. You know, you only want to be taking your A+ high probability setups in the market. Yeah, why would you take anything else? It doesn't make any sense to take anything that is not high probability A class, because then at the end of the day you're playing a game, and you'd start playing the market on the market's terms and not yours. You know, so when you have your set parameters of how you get in and out of the market, and you don't take any other trades just like that, then there's no guessing work. Then that's when you start to gain confidence in your own strategy, and then you have no hesitation. Yeah, people don't realise how much psychology it is trading. Right, any questions? Any questions before I get on to EU? I've seen there's a few more people join. So basically, my strategy is me and Lisboa. We trade very similar, same principles. You can add US indices on your analysis. Yeah, I follow US 30. I'm not trading US 30 live yet because I'm still kind of making the transition as such. I'm not saying I am transitioning, because the EU and GU are my bread and butter. That's my you're gonna use your Comel line. Maybe, man. I don't know if I can be bothered. So if just make the most of it while I'm here. If you have any questions, you know. Where was it? Yeah, US 30. I'm still I'm not 100% in US 30 at the moment, because I'm still learning how it moves. I'm still kind of getting used to it. Although it's all the same shit, it still moves a little bit differently, and I'm still just getting used to that. No NAS, no S&P. EU, GU, US 30. That's it for me at the moment. Right, so let's jump into what we're seeing on EU at the moment today. Well, we'll jump through my the bread and butter strategy first of all. I've got my alarm set up. I don't really need yeah, cool. Right, so we'll jump into bread and butter strategy. As you can see up here, POI, early buyers, sellers, last point demand, failure, evaluate the action, entry type. You want to have a sequence of events. This to happen, then this, then this, then this, then this. If this happens, then this, or this. Nothing else. If this happens, and this happens, and this doesn't happen, then I'm not getting into a trade. If this happens, then this happens, but this last step doesn't happen, I'm not getting into a trade. I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, all my sequence of events come into fruition, and then I'll look at my entry type, which I have a type 1 entry and a type 2 entry, and this is dependent on this step here. So I have my sequence of events, so pretty much it's this. You have your POI. I have criteria for POIs as well. It's not just a fucking demand candle or something. Obviously you have to have criteria for your POIs. So you have your POIs, and then basically you're waiting for the relevant liquidity to be swept, and this is in the form of early buyers and sellers. Yeah, so you want to see early buyers or early sellers, depending on whether you're buying or selling, get induced into the market and then taken out. you have to ask yourself after, are you expecting... Oh, hold on, let me just check GU. What's going on? Yeah, I'm not really interested. Let's go back. So, yeah. All it is you have your POI, you wait for early buyers and sellers to be induced into the market, and then you wait for the last point in demand or last point in supply, depending on whether you're buying or selling, to be broken, and then you evaluate the reaction and get your entry type. I'll draw that right now. Right, we'll go over entry 1. So, for example, if I am... You have to be expecting this to be a sweep. If you are expecting this to be a sweep, then you look at this last point demand fail. So, you see, in turn, it is literally your POI, your early sellers into the market, which over here could be, I don't know, it could look like this. So here's your POI, and then I don't know, you have like supply chaining here or something, and you see that early enticement of sellers into the market. Those who know Wyckoff, you'd just call this a minor sign of weakness. You just want to basically look for that manipulation, and then straight after, once you look for that, once you see those early buyers and sellers wiped out, you then look for the, in this case for sales, you look for the last point of demand that caused the sweep of the liquidity. You wait for that to be broken, and now dependent on how this gets broken is when you look for a type 1 or type 2 entry. Type 1 is seconds at the extreme. Type 2 you can just enter. If it flips and sweeps like that, then you just come up, enter, bang. Risk management 1 to 10, always. 1 to 10 BE or BE loss, or 1 to 10. That's it. So this is like principle of what we're looking for, and sometimes it can get a bit tricky sometimes, because like the early buyers and the early sellers aren't always like presented perfectly like this. You know, their early buyers and sellers are going to be presented differently every single time. You know, although it's the same shit, it's the same principle, and that's why you need to have the understanding of like where people are being induced, what liquidity's been taken out of the market, to actually understand how sorry, I'm just reading the chat. The old Jerry, what's up, man? Yeah, but long story short, this is the premise of the main premise of my entry model. One entry model, or two entry models, should I say? Two entry models, same principles every single time, same sequence of events to happen. So POI, early buyers and sellers to be induced, bang, they're induced. Wait for the sweep, wait for the last point of demand, failure. Once it's failed, how did it fail? Did it fail with a sweep of liquidity and then break, or did it just swipe straight through? And that's how we that's how I basically determine my entries. Anyone got any questionos before we move on? Any Cristiano Ronaldos? Let me have a look to see. I'll break down EU right now first. There's really not much to break down, but 15-minute, literally, like I mean, you don't even. What time frame is the most important? What one should you give most attention? Time frames aren't. I say this to everyone. Everyone asks me this. Like, the 15-minute time frame. It's structure. Like, time frames are there to show us structure. Yeah. So, like, for example, on the 15-minute time frame, you can still, like, this structure still the same as on the 5-minute time frame. Still the same structure. But it depends, like, where your entry is. Like, my entries are on the 1 minute. So I want to see realistically the 15-minute setup before I even look to get in. I'll have my 15-minute POI. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 15-minute exactly. Like, I could go down to the 14-minute or something, or like the 13-minute, whatever looks cleaner. I know it's all the same structure, just presented differently. Whereas here, this is quite a nice POI. You see it's swept liquidity, and then broke, and it's an extreme. So like 15-minute for POIs, you want to have a higher time frame POI, and then you want to get in on your lower time frame. So yeah, EU at the moment, I don't really go majorly high, but you can see. Right, we'll go daily just because. Right, this is all one leg, here to here. That's a structure break. This is all one leg. This didn't do anything. What did this whole range do? It didn't do anything. It just created liquidity above this high. So when we broke this is still internal range liquidity of this whole leg down here. So expecting this to be ran, like, you've got to think of the market getting fuel, and you've got to think of a car needs fuel to move. Yeah. So because we're coming down to this monthly level, we've taken out this majorly monthly low here, and we are coming down, making equal lows here at the very extreme of the monthly low. We might have just run out of fuel here to potentially push down to the downside. So what we might have to do is come up, grab some fuel around here, and then move down. Fuel is here, move down. That's scenario one. Whereas this is a sweep, and then this is the push down. Scenario 2 is, you see we have this demand like this. This could be a change of character. This could be us coming into the extreme, and this could be a move away like that. That would be a cause to potentially take all of these highs that are now this high, this high, this high, this high, this high. They're all internal range liquidity of the higher time frame structure. So we can just play lower time frame. You don't really, it's good to have an idea of what's going on the daily, but you don't need it. If I'm entering on the 1 minute, I need to pull 30 pips out of the market at a 3 pip stop loss for a 1 to 10. I don't need to know what the daily's doing to go all the way down there. I'm not holding that long anymore. I'm just 1 to 10 in and out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So 4 hour, like I said before, we've got this demand here, and now you can see we have swept. This is our range, isn't it? From here to there. Yeah, this is the whole leg. This is the last point of internal range liquidity within the leg at the extreme here. Yeah, so realistically, if you think about it like this, like, price doesn't have any reason. If you're looking at the bullish scenario, if you're looking at a bullish bias, like, if this high breaks, then potentially you could look to get into buyers up here to target up there. But because we've taken all of the internal range liquidity, it's got no reason to go down. But you can see, like, the amount of liquidity we've got here. We've got equal lows on the monthly, we've got an equal low here. We're just creating loads of that liquidity. Look, bang, So personally, I'm just going to be following this bearish structure to go down. You know, you don't have to try and predict what the market's going to do. I couldn't give a shit if the market wants to go, if it wants to go up here, if it wants to go down there, if it wants to play around here. I don't give a shit, because I'll just react from what price is telling me at this moment in time. You can see our 4-hour structure. Here we go. I'll leave that there. Right. So this is my POI. Why is it my POI? Because we swept liquidity and we broke structure to the downside, and it's the extreme of where we swept liquidity. This is a nice POI to look for. So what I'd be looking for here, but you've also got to be aware here that there is no structural liquidity in there. So like I said before, we need fuel to move to the downside. So I want to see if, for example, this was here, if we had like bang like that, you see how that's liquidity resting before our POI. Early sellers get wiped out, and then we see that last point of demand failure. Then I'd look to get in like that for shorts. But like for now, nothing's really interesting me. There's, you know, we're in this bullish range from here. There's not really been any kind of manipulation as such. This is, you know, the structure isn't aligned. We've got bullish structure here. This bullish structure could just be respected and then we move up, you know, or we could break down. If we break down, then there might be opportunity to get into a sell here. But for now, I'm not too interested because we haven't really done anything. Lower time frame, you can see this morning we had a bit of price action. So this morning I was actually waiting for like potentially sells, because you see we had all of this liquidity built up there. Had a nice clean 5-minute extreme candle just there. So what I would have wanted to see was us come up like that, bang, react. And what's that? That is that last point of demand that I'd want to see fail for a sell like that. Depending on how it broke, I'd get in at the 5-second up here or the 1 minute, you know. And then, but it didn't happen. It just went phew, straight through. So literally, like, there's fuck all now. To me, there's nothing here on EU. Nothing like clean, you know. There's nothing. I like to see a sweep, a clear sweep. I'm not seeing a sweep here. I'm just seeing market structure. There's no real sweep. Whereas I'll show you an example of what sweep looks like. Bang. Right, there we go. This is a sweep. And this is a perfect example, actually. We have. This is where I was looking to get in the other day, but it didn't happen. You see, we have build up liquidity. I always say liquidity to take, liquidity to target. Bang. Sharp movement. Look at the sharp. Bang, bang, like that. Here we have, look, all of this liquidity resting here. All of this. We failed to push higher to break this high. We have liquidity there. So if we take this liquidity up top, and then we fail to break the high, and then we start showing signs that we want to go down, where's our next point of liquidity? Triple lows here. Makes sense. Makes sense to target this liquidity now. So what becomes our last point of demand? Also, your last point of demand varies on your structure, because here my clear last point of demand is on the 5 minute, because this is like 5 minute structure as such. So my last point of demand is here rather than on the 1 minute. If the range was smaller, then my last point of demand would be on the 1 minute. And how I class my last point of demand is demand candle, like a clear demand candle, an inside bar, whatever, however you want to do it, a range before the sweep. You want to always have it before the sweep. So I was now anticipating these lows to go. You wait for the sweep, bang, all of this liquidity was taken here. You see the last point of demand before the sweep get broken, and then I evaluate the reaction. There was no sweep of liquidity in here, so I literally just wait for the exact same shit to happen on the 1 minute within this 5 minute POI here. Up here, same shit again. It's like all these are early sellers. They're all selling. They're early sellers, and they get wiped. Bang. We wait for the sweep. I'm anticipating that to be the sweep. Here I wait for the last point of demand to fail, potentially on the 1 minute. Fails, and then I look to get in. Bang, there's your entry up here. But it wasn't really clean to me, so I didn't get in. It was not clean. Like, all of it's pretty much in my head. I'm not that great at explaining it, but honestly, this shit fucking works. This throughout my whole trading, like, this is these principles to follow, these sequence of events to happen. If you're patient, and that's the key thing with this strategy, is patience. The other week, like, EU's been dog shit for the past however many weeks now, like 3 or 4 weeks now. It's been shit. There's still been trades. There's still been trades, but like, I remember like 2 months ago there was literally like a high probability setup every single day. But that's just market cycles. Sometimes it will bless you, sometimes it won't. Is early sellers liquidation one of your key rules? Yeah, it's my key rules. I don't follow anything else apart from my rules. It's liquidation. I want to see liquidation of early sellers or buyers, depending on whether you're buying or selling. After I see that sweep, you want to determine your last point of supply or last point of demand after you see the sweep, and then you want to evaluate the reaction to that last point of demand. If it breaks, then you evaluate the reaction. Then I'll look to get into the market. Mohammed, I've just gone through my strategy, man. Literally, like, look at these key things up here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And then go into my Telegram journal. Like, screenshot that or whatever you need to do. It's in my Telegram journal. Go into my Telegram journal and look at my most recent entries from the past couple of weeks. And you'll see what I mean. I'm not going to share my journal. I mean, I could. I might share my journal, but you can, like, my proper journal. I have my Telegram journal, and then I have my actual proper journal. But look at that up top. Go into my Telegram journal and study the entries. There's not an entry every day. If there was high probability A+ setups every single day in the market, like, we'd be a millionaire. You know, if you could have, if there's an A+, like 100% clean entry every single day, and you could get 1 to 10 back from it, then you'd be a millionaire. But there isn't. There's some days where there's 2 or 3 days in a row I don't have a trade. And then why do you need to trade every day if you're hitting 1 to 10? So you need a couple of them a month. That's it. Not even a couple. You know what I mean? Like, depending on your account size and stuff, and depending on your risk. If you're risking 1% at a 1 to 10, You could be wrong a couple times, still be right once, and you've still hit what, 7% on an account. You got 200-300 grand in an account, then what? That's like some people's annual wage is 7%. You're done for the month. Cheers, mate. How do you validate POIs? I wait for my setup at a POI. That's it. Like, POIs need criteria. You need to have set criteria for your POIs. Everything needs to be like, you need to search for clarity in the market. If you don't have clarity and understanding, then that will always be missing from your trading. Seek to understand what the market is actually telling you. That way it cuts out confusion. There's no hesitation. You know where you went wrong if you went wrong, and you know where you went right. POIs, literally, you have POI types. Oh. POI types, yeah. You have extremes. You have S&D interactions. Bang. You have an extreme, or you have an S&D interaction, or you have an LQ POI, which is a POI that's swept liquidity. For example, this is technically an extreme because it's an extreme of this leg, but it's not the extreme of like the 4-hour range. You know, this is the extreme technically, but this is still an extreme because it's this leg here. So this is an LQ POI extreme. And then you want to have your confluences. So you want to when you're labeling a POI, and this is how you get data, you know, from your stuff. You want to label your POIs. You want to make sure, like, see what they have, because if you're just trading off random POIs and you're not logging the characteristics of those POIs, then how are you ever going to know if it works or not? So here you have your POI types: extreme, S&D interaction, liquidity POI, and then your bloody hell. And then you have your POI confluences. So the type of POI is, and then your confluences. Is it chaining? Is it chaining? Swept. Liquidity. Did it sweep liquidity? Or did it break structure? Did it break structure? I put something in the chat the other day actually. Let me try and find it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, has it got inducement? Key thing here is inducement for me. This is like the most important thing. Whether it has liquidity before it or not. Confluence, 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 confluence. But like, this is less important. Well, it's not less important, but like, you want to see, in terms of structure, you want it to do something. You don't want it to just... I'm trying to think how to explain it in the best way. But anyway, there's your POI types. There's your confluences for your POI. Oh shit, yeah, sorry Justin, man, I lowered the music. I didn't realise it was too loud. Is that good? Is that better? Oh shit, no, I was looking at an old stream. Never mind. Is the music alright? Is the music... Can you hear the music okay? Is it or is it too loud? This video would remain on my channel, right? Yeah, yeah. It will. Inducement is basically early sellers liquidity. Yeah, pretty much. Like you can call it whatever you want. It has so many different names. It's just I choose to call it early buyers or early sellers. Like you want to see it's liquidity at the end of the day. That's the bare bones of it. It's liquidity, and that's what you want to see taken out of the market into your POI. It's called inducement, liquidity. It's all the same shit. So when you see like me say inducement or early buyers, sellers, then like it's the same shit. It's all the same shit. It just means liquidity in the market, and I'm waiting for that manipulation. That's literally it. Your big man Heat is in the chat. Here he is. Any other like questions you guys want to know? Like it's probably best if you want to like study the what I do, then go into my Telegram chat and look at my entries from like the past few weeks. Even like before I started like really refining this shit, it's still, you wait for liquidity to be taken and you wait for liquidity to target, you know? Liquidity taken into your POI, there's equal lows below. Liquidity to target. Do you use premium discount FIB? Yeah, I mean, there it is. It's right there. I don't necessarily like. I don't really rely on premium discount majorly, you know. Like it depends. If there's like a nice POI down here, and I get like a perfect A+ entry, and my bias is short, I'm still gonna take that. I'm not going to wait until it comes all the way up to the extreme. But like for example here, there's not really any POIs I like in here. This is just the 4-hour supply extreme. The only thing I'd look potentially to get into is this POI here, because it is literally the extreme. It has a little bit of liquidity resting below it, so you could potentially monitor to see how it goes in there. Entry setups though, this is a perfect example of how, look, entry setups are everywhere, but like I'm not going to take an entry setup just everywhere unless it meets my criteria. You see how we have early sellers being induced into the market here, breaking these lows. They get swept, and then where was our last point of demand? That last point of demand's here. Just there. So like if this was at a really nice POI and we had like liquidity to the left here before a really nice POI, then this would be a good setup. You see the reaction here didn't I mean it swept this high, but this was mitigated. But yeah, once this breaks, you could literally, that's when you look to get involved. You know, we see liquidity now built for this POI, so this should be a nice place to get a 5-second entry in. But like it's in no man's land. It's not coming to my POI. It's not coming to, although this is a 4-hour POI. Like there's no structure here. This could literally just be grabbing liquidity to go higher. I don't really like it. So there's really not much for me. Not much for me. Yes, 30. Have I really been on here like 40 minutes already? Shit. Right, yeah. Well, I'm gonna shoot soon. But I'll answer just any last couple questions if you guys have any questions. Where's the music stop? There you go. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep posting my entries in my Telegram journal, of course. Study the entries, because like this shit, it fucking works. It really works. It really does work. This is like the most confident I've ever been in my trading to pull the trigger. You know, once you train your eyes to see this, and once you understand that you shouldn't be sitting on the seconds chart all day, then you know you only need a handful of trades per month. I am testing US 30 though. I am testing US 30 still. US 30, you can sit on the 1 minute chart. As opposed, yeah, hey, jump in the live next time. I'm not sure how I can get your voice on here, but we'll sort it out. Definitely though, man. Come in the stream, heat. We'll talk. Oh well, I mean, like, there's no liquidity here. It's a 15-minute POI, but there's no liquidity, so I'm not really interested. Like, your 1 minute structure is this. Yeah, you've got demand here. You've got this structure here. This POI here. Supply. So, but we're bullish within the range here. We've just realigned bearish here. That's your target. This lowers the target here. Bang, hit. But there was no entry. Maybe potentially if it pulled back, you could have got entry, but like it's not my entry criteria. You could call these the early sellers here, and then this sweeps. If you're expecting that to be the sweep, this is your last point of demand here, but price never come back to give you that 5-second confirmation entry to take it down, because that you could have targeted this liquidity there. This extreme chaining. So yeah, there was no liquidity before this POI. So they created liquidity here with this push and then this push away here. So liquidity was resting there. That's what I see on the 1 minute, but like I said, I wait for it to set up on the high time frame. I mean, you know, this is where, like, using the principles of early buyers and sellers, you don't always, like, yeah, you want to see a fake chock as such, but not always has to be presented as a fake chock. Like, early buyers and sellers can be presented in all, like, in different ways, you know. For example, let me go back to the example from earlier. Like, you can see, like, you want early buyers and sellers, or a clear build up of orders. You can see, like, clearly, like, we haven't had any fake chocks down here, yeah. But you can clearly see that we've got all this liquidity here throughout Asia. This level's been respected. This level's been respected. We had this little bit of respect there. You can see that people are getting induced to buy at this level. Like you'd say, this is a retail resistance, whatever they call it these days. Your sales are looking good now. Where did you get in, Heat? Did you get in at the top? The only thing I struggle with sometimes with this strategy is I sometimes miss setups, and because they're like very far and in between, you can trade off. Lowest time frames I can trade off 1 minute. How do you implement it on 5 seconds? I only go on the 5 second chart if my type 2 entry appears. Nice, Heat. Right, anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna eat. I'm going to the gym. But thank you for joining, everyone. I hope it helped. Might do more. Might do another one. Might do some more. But apart from that, I am gone. Enjoy your days, people. See ya.